What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of Good For You, Fun, Cheap and Easy. So today we're going to be taking a look at part 2 of Mastering Your Money, which is basically looking at ways to try and get control back over your finances and also avoid those pitfalls along the way. You need an income that's basically going to enable you to have half of that income go straight into your necessities and essentials and free up the other half for other things, which we'll go into in a bit more detail further on in point number 5. It may well be that if you have a minimum wage job, it may well mean that you have to work another job in order to actually make ends meet, as well as have some money on the side for savings, for, you know, in case of emergency, and investing. Because let's face it, you don't want to be stuck in this place. You want to be progressing and getting to a place where finances aren't a concern. And don't forget, this is short term. You're basically putting things in place so that you can reach a point in your life where you are financially free. And better yet, you're probably going to be in a situation later on where you're living in abundance. So you would have the resources to actually be able to help other people, which, just from personal experience, it magnifies the kind of joy that you can get from those resources or from that money tenfold. And if you look at someone like Do Won, the founder of Forever 21, he worked 3 jobs while he was actually putting together and launching his business, Forever 21. And now him and his wife, they're billionaires. So humble beginnings and all that. If you dream big and you're prepared to put in the hard work, you can do just about anything. The planning is the most boring part, but it's also the part that makes the biggest difference. Okay, so point number 2 is programming. And by programming, I mean things like priming and marketing and the kind of lengths that businesses will go to get us to part with our hard-earned cash, especially when we otherwise wouldn't have or weren't thinking of doing that. Now, you would be amazed by the amount of money businesses will spend on research and things like that to try and find out how we tick, what we respond to, what will encourage us to spend our precious money. One of the ways that businesses actually take a look at doing this is, for example, with priming. So when you walk into a supermarket, for instance, and you smell the bakery food or something that really gets your taste buds going, or they're frying up some of the sausages and the burgers because it's summertime and they've got all the barbecue stuff out and they're doing little taste testers, that is a way of priming. It's basically providing a stimuli before you actually get to the product so that you are more inclined to go, oh yeah, I really fancy that. Or for example, if you walk into a clothes shop and you have seen the window displays with, you know, say a poster of someone wearing that particular outfit that is then positioned near the door, and they're looking happy and glamorous and beautiful, chances are you're more likely to buy it. Ever wondered how something could look so great in the shop and then you get home, put it on, and suddenly you no longer look as slim in it or as like picture perfect photoshopped face? Well, in some shops that I've been in, they dim the lights and they put slimming mirrors in place. When you are in there, you don't get a good reflection, which in some instances for yours truly is a good thing. So you're more likely to buy those clothes, and then you get home, you put them on in the cold light of day, and you're just thinking, if you're a bit like me, oh my lord, how do I think this look good? And then businesses like casinos, they tend to look at dimming the light and then putting on music that makes you feel all pumped up and like you're the man, you got the money, you're gonna win. And then they tend to also get rid of windows and clocks, because then you're more likely to lose track of time, be there longer, spending. So to avoid making purchases based on marketing and priming, 1, get to know yourself. Go through the stuff that you already have and basically do a sort through, kind of like a spring clean, which, let's face it, we could all do with a spring clean here and there. So yeah, go through your cupboards, find out what you use and what actually just sits in the cupboard and you haven't picked up and used in like 6 months to a year. And then when it comes to buying stuff again, I actually know what kind of things are useful to me and I can make more intentional purchases. Don't buy spur of the moment. You can always walk away. Chances are you're not going to lose out on that sale. You can probably find it for the same price or cheaper online. Yeah. I now only tend to buy stuff that will replenish old stocks that have kind of worn out and done their time, or replace stuff that is broken or damaged. We have 2 kids. A lot gets broken and damaged. And the next point is know your weaknesses. It's important that you put strategies in place so that you can actually counter those. So for example, say you're a bit like me, and when you actually go grocery shopping, you don't stick to the list that you've written down. Just pile on anything and everything that looks really good. Where you can decide a bit better, you know, what you need, what you're going to use, what's healthy for you. And also you can make sure that you stick to your budget a bit better. So be aware of these tricks that businesses can use to get you to part with your hard-earned cash, because so often, for example, they will sell you happiness and they'll actually give you a fizzy drink that will actually end up rotting your teeth and not help with weight or anything like that, or diabetes. Or they'll sell you the dream lifestyle but give you a car that actually puts more financial stress on you and results in you having anything but the perfect lifestyle. Or they sell you this cool identity but give you a lipstick, and then when you put it on, it goes all over your teeth and it's like, oh. Worth knowing. Say you buy a cup of coffee 5 days a week when you're at work, you know, you just need that, you know, that nice coffee. And you buy it out for like £2.40, I think the average medium coffee is. That's £624 a year that you could be saving in your back pocket. So just bear that in mind. And then on average, people spend about £20 a week on takeout. Now, if instead of getting takeout, you made a nice, healthy, but tasty meal at home and saved that £20, you would end up saving £1,040. Think what you could do with £1,040. Or if you spent just £5 a day at work on your lunch, or, you know, for the kids' lunches, instead of doing pack-ups, that actually adds up to £1,300 a year. So just think again what you could do with that money. There's nothing wrong with buying these things. The reason why I'm pointing it out is just to help you guys make an informed decision and actually start to think about it, because a lot of the time these little decisions that we make, we don't realize how big an impact it can make. Okay, and point number 3 is know yourself and know your goals. Set those goals and know them. Because if you don't, someone else is going to come along and they're going to try telling you what you want, what will make you happy, and guess what? It's going to be their product. Something that will probably cost quite a bit of money and might even land you in debt. So know your goals and know yourself, know what you want. The sad thing is, a lot of the time these businesses can't actually sell you something that's gonna make you fulfilled, and they wouldn't want to anyway, because they want you to keep coming back and buying more most of the time. And what you really want is just basically the genuine article, no, not some dodgy kind of thing. So genuine love, genuine progress, personal progress that you're making in your life, and the joy that you can get from helping others. I would suggest that when you're getting to know yourself and you're setting those goals, be intentional and maybe decide not to be just a consumer. Try and get into the mindset of an owner as well. So an owner doesn't just use stuff up and look for the next thing to buy. An owner is actually saving and looking to invest. And a little tip, I know it sounds boring, saving, but investing is exciting, especially when you start to see those investments grow. So the goal here will be to master money. Set that goal, write it down if you need to, and remind yourself of it daily. And like I say, focus on the positive, like investing, rather than the negative of I'm sacrificing XYZ to save. Because you're going to be needing basically a bit of pull rather than push. And by that, I mean you will only get so far if you're having to push yourself into doing something that you don't really want to do. But if you're excited about it and you're motivated about it, you're going to be pulling yourself out of bed. Okay, and a part of knowing yourself is being real with yourself. Accept the fact that to master money here, which is your goal, if you're watching this, I'm assuming, then it's going to take hard work and it's going to take sacrifice. And at times that will be painful. But like I say, focus on the positive and the bigger picture that you're excited about getting to. So yeah, you might have to work longer hours or get that second job. You might have to go without that takeout or that holiday or that outfit, or, you know, going out to eat with your friends or going clubbing or whatever cutbacks you feel you need to do to stick to your budget. But longer term, that means that you're going to be able to make those investments that you want. You're going to have that buffer for financial security. And you're going to be working actively towards getting to a place of financial freedom and being an owner, not just a consumer that ends up having to work their entire life, getting to pension age and not actually being 100% certain whether or not they're going to get their pension. Tony Robbins, if you don't know who he is, Google him. He has basically launched his business while he was working as a janitor. So, you know, there is no room for pride where you're looking to progress. Get a job, any kind of job will do, as long as it's covering the bare bone basics and giving you enough to put aside. And again, being real with yourself, you're going to need energy to do this. So getting to bed on time, early to bed, early to rise, be ahead of your day, have those good habits, and also feed your body the kind of fuel that it needs. What you fuel your body on will affect its performance. It's sort of a given, but a lot of the time we try to kid ourselves, or I do. But you can make healthy food tasty. There is tons of stuff online, check it out. What I would say is, yeah, make sure you're getting that healthy food into your body, drinking enough water, and that will give you the fuel that you need to have the energy to put the hard work in. Otherwise, you're going to struggle. And by the by, dairy, that tends to block a lot of the nutritional uptake. So if you're eating all these wonderful phytonutrients and vitamins and minerals, as it passes through your gut, the milk proteins actually bind to it. So it's difficult for your gut to actually touch those little good bits and absorb them. So just by the by, worth knowing. Exercise is great as well. For me, exercise tells you a heck of a lot about yourself. When it gets tough, are you going to quit and throw in the towel and stop and go, oh, it's just not me, I haven't got the muscle, I haven't got the strength to do it? Or are you going to acknowledge the fact that actually you need to push through this, and everyone who has muscle has only got it because they've exercised it and gone a little bit beyond what they felt able to do. So that's kind of the cost of progressing. Just kind of is. The mind and the body work together, and that leads me to my next point, which is strong will. You are going to need a strong will if you are going to get this done and see it through to the end. So start with small things like, you know, cutting down on the junk food, getting into a good routine and, you know, daily habit, getting up early so you're ahead of your day and you've got more time to kind of get on top of things, get that exercise in so you're, you know, keeping your health as a priority, and then stand back and see how things start to fall into place. It's all interconnected. It has such an effect on whether or not you're going to be able to master your money, because the little things matter. They then help the bigger things fall into place, because if you're eating healthily, that's going to give you energy to pour into this stuff. If you're exercising, it's keeping you physically fit, and mentally it's putting you in a position where actually when things get tough, you're going to be pushing through because you realize that it's a learning experience and it's for development, rather than go, oh, it's too hard for me, I'm just not built for it. Some people have the muscle, but clearly I don't. Rather than actually accepting the fact that that experience is making you stronger and has made those other people stronger and helped them get to where they are today. And finally, in terms of getting to know yourself, even Warren Buffett, an investing genius, said that, look, the best investment by far that he ever made was in himself. You and your choices are by far the most influential thing you have going for you, the thing that you actually have control of. In terms of determining your longer term success. Habits. So good habits are essential for longer term success in any area, especially with mastering your money. So we're going to touch on some of the things that I've covered earlier, but the first is basically to be frugal but generous. So what I mean by being frugal is basically to make informed decisions about what you're spending your money on, because it's up to you what you spend it on. But I would say make sure you stick to the budget first off, and then just decide, you know, would you rather have that coffee for £624 a year if you have one every day while you're out and about and you're buying it from the coffee shop? Or would you rather have £624 a year in your back pocket to spend on something else or to invest in something else? Or would you rather spend £5 you know, a day, 5 days a week on your lunch or on lunch for the kids? Or would you rather have an extra £1,300 in your back pocket per year to spend on something else or invest in something else? You know, it's that kind of stuff. So just be aware, make informed decisions, be frugal where you're happy to be frugal, and save money in some areas so you have more money in the pot to invest in other areas that are more important to you. And by being generous, I mean not just with money, you know, it's up to you whether you invest money, time, resources, you know, whatever it is, but it's good to be generous and to develop that kind of heart for other people, because you will see. We have point number 5, budget. So for the budget, I would suggest that you have 50% of your income earmarked for essentials and necessities. So things like your rent, your bills, and things like that, and your travel to work and so on, phone bill, things like that. Then 10% to go into long-term savings. That's basically going to be your buffer in case things go wrong. 10% to go into an investment pot for, you know, things like, I don't know, if you want to look at property or buying and selling things or investing so you can harness, you know, compounding interest and the benefits that that has to offer. That's your little investing pot. And that's, you know, looking at getting you closer towards financial freedom where you don't have any financial concerns. And then another 10% is to go into you, basically. So basically that 10% is earmarked for self-improvement. Another 10% is to go towards giving. And the other 10% is your pocket money. So to spend as you see fit. Date nights, I don't know, weekend trips with the kids, saving it up for a holiday, that kind of stuff. If you don't have enough, for that 50% to cover, you know, your essentials and so on, then maybe you'll need to take a look at reducing down the amount of pocket money you have or getting another job. So it just depends. But if you're wanting to get yourself into a position where you have a chance of getting financially free and not having any financial concerns, that's the kind of sacrifice you have to make now. And again, like I say, it's short term. It's just so that you can get ahead and, yeah, when you get to retirement, not have financial concerns. Again, to stick to your budget, make sure you've got some strategies in place to help you do this. So for example, like I say, with me and grocery shopping, I manage it so much better, and I actually stick to the list and the budget when I do it online, because I can actually see the things there in my trolley. I pile everything in, and then when I see I've gone over budget or bought things that actually aren't very good for our health, at the end I just kind of scroll through, take some things out, add a few other kind of like healthy bits in, you know, if the budget allows, and then hey presto, job done. It's a good one. If you find that you tend to spend all the money that you have in your account because it's there, then maybe set up some other bank accounts. It takes a bit of effort to begin with, but it'll make it so much easier for you to actually get on top of your finances longer term. So then at the beginning of the month, when your money comes in, it will automatically spread out and be divvied up into the accounts that you have set up. Easy. And if your pastime is spending the weekends in town, browsing the shops, and that's what you love to do, great stuff. But if you tend to spend, and because you've got money in your account, or even if you haven't, which is even more worrying, and you still keep spending and you can't help it, then leave your card at home, have the money in your pocket, cash only, your pocket money, no more, and then head into town and relax, enjoy the day, browse the shops, spend what you want, what's there, and then once you've run out, head home. Okay guys, so to quickly summarize, you're going to want a reliable income and a positive cash flow. That basically means having more coming in than you got going out. Number 2, be aware of programming and the lengths that businesses will go to get you to part with your hard-earned cash. And number 3, know yourself and know your goals. So set those goals and have a look at what you've got at home, what you use, what you don't use, and that's going to help you to be more intentional with your buying. Number 4, have good habits and self-discipline. They are the bedrock, the cornerstone, the foundation to mastering any area, really, let alone mastering money. Once you've got those good habits in place, you'd be surprised at how quickly the bigger things start to fall into place. And finally, number 5, budget. Get a budget, stick to it, and good luck. I'm so excited to see, what kind of a change this makes for you guys. Leave your comments down below. If you've got any tips for anyone else, share those below as well, and good luck.